She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. Welcome to Sunday Morning Tea and Tarot. I'm Valerie Friend. You can find me at valeriefriend.com or on YouTube or Facebook, a little Instagram. And I want to tell you that I'm really sort of moving away from Facebook on the day to day. I'm only accessing it from my computer, and I'm not having Facebook on my phone because, shenanigans that bring me down. So good morning, Erica and Sally and Tina. Good morning, honey. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you have to say it loud and proud.
I'm doing okay.
Well, you're a long way from the microphone. Good morning. Who else is here? If you're here, say hey, so I know you're here. If you feel like it, you can do a little like and share to help get the message out and F the algorithms. So she changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. The only thing that we can be 100% sure of is that things will change. We've all learned that lesson, I think, very soundly over the last year. Things change. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Carol. Hey, hey, hey. So we have this lovely waxing crescent moon in Cancer today. And this is a great time to work with the element of water and call in the paths and the openings into your deepest longings, your dreams, your hopes, your visions, your desires. Good morning, Michelle Foster. This is a time to dream big. I want you to dream so big that it makes you feel uncomfortable. I want you to listen to music that inspires you and expands you. I want you to write outlandish dreams in your journals, even if you laugh at yourself for writing that down. This is the time for the major dream expansion because Jupiter has moved into Pisces, my friend, and will be there through eclipse season, through Mercury retrograde, and everything wants to be dreamed into existence. Pay attention to how you're feeling because Jupiter amplifies everything. So if you are giving lots of space to, lower vibe emotions, Jupiter's going to say, oh, you want more of that? All right, I don't get it, but okay, here's some more. Hi, Sherry. Good morning. So I want you to pay attention to what you're giving your minutes and moments to. Are you being respectful of your energetic Chronos and Kairos time? Good questions for this week. So work with Jupiter intentionally. You can vision board. You can cut out little words that you would like to see expanded for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the planet. And I want you to hold yourself back, if you can, from judging what's happening. And I wanted to tell you a little story this morning about, Amy worked in Corning, New York, which is about, what do you say, honey, 50 minutes away from here, for 4 years. And it was a lot of back and forth. If you've been with me for some time, you've seen me, load up my crates and move around a lot. And after 4 years, it was really like kind of weighing on me. So I started to dream and wish that there was a way that Amy could be home or work from home, or we could be together more than we currently were. Not that we weren't spending time together. It was just like not on the daily all the time, which I kind of missed. And then Amy lost her job, and it was really rough. And she had a hard time, and then I had a hard time. And the whole last year and a half was a big transition. But here's the thing. Amy got a new job that is a much better fit for her. She works remotely all the time, not just COVID, but like we can work from anywhere now. Exactly what I wanted. But the initial receiving of it was like, oh my God, what did I wish for? So try not to judge what's happening right now, and maybe think about it as these are the stepping stones to my Jupiter moment. Look at your last year or even the last 6 months, because we're headed into eclipse season, and say, without judgment, these are the stepping stones to my Jupiter and Pisces moment. And then start dreaming it up, okay? Good morning, Facebook users that I can't see your names. Let me know who you are. So, as we go into prayer, I want us to ground deeply. I have this piece of jet here that Ricky Jean gave to me. Let me see if I can hold it up so you can see it better. It's very iridescent, very polished, but it's also, jet is a wonderful grounding tool. It's really like fossilized, petrified wood that has been, worked over and then polished up. And it is just an incredibly grounding thing. So, maybe you need a piece of jet. Maybe you need a piece of lodestone or hematite. Anything that gets you grounded, roots in the soil. We're going to ground deeply into the fertile soil of the mother and connect to the energy of fortitude and self-esteem. We're going to ready the ship of our heart space and intentionally address both the stressors and the inspiration, not just one, but both. If you just look at the inspirations without looking at what's stressing you out, can you see how your stressors might interfere with your inspiration? Likewise, if you're focusing on the stressors without the inspiration, you can get stuck and mired down. So we want to address the yin and the yang of it, okay? Find your anchor, flex your roots. As we open the channel of divine love and light to bring forth this message for Sunday morning tea and tarot, I ask our guides, angels, light beings, and ancestors to show up, surround us with love and protection, and bring forth messages that are clear, concise, and actionable, delivered for our highest good, for the highest good of all. And we always ask in perfect love and perfect trust. And so it is, And so it is. And so it is. Hi, Monique. Hey, Carrie Ann. Good morning, Mandy.
You've got Terry Lindley and Sally Lynn.
Yeah, Terry Lindley?
Tina Lindley.
Tina Lindley.
Sorry. I know it's Terry Lindley. Carol Kelly, Andrea Spencer.
Hello, hello.
Mandy Robin Smith and Monique.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So we are going to need to twist and shape shift this week because every card in the reading is reversed. Now, that's not a bad thing. And you'll see, it's not a bad thing. Don't make a scary face.
Yeah, at least he's whining.
So the challenge, this is a challenge posed by the expansive and benevolent Jupiter in Pisces to turn things over a little bit and examine them from a different perspective. Oh, Tina says, oh, dear Lord, was my immediate response to the cards reversed. No, you know what? It doesn't have that vibe, Tina. So take a deep breath, get your roots down in there. You got this. You can handle this. And it's working for us, not to us. So there's that. So we're going to start out with the swirl. The first three cards are what's going on in the collective energy swirl that is influencing us personally, spiritually, physically, in our relationships, in our workspaces. It is all that's available and then personalized. So we're going to start out this week with the Seven of Arrows reverse. I'm using the Wildwood Tarot. Mark Ryan and John Matthews are the authors. Will Worthington is the illustrator. So I'm starting out with the Seven of Arrows reverse, and Ryan and Matthews named this card Insecurity. And we can see that there's this opportunity to release insecurity a little bit. The pesky little confidence breakers that get in the way, that keep us from living our best lives. The antidote to insecurity is not confidence. Confidence is what results from applying the antidote. So the real antidote to insecurity is appreciation. This week, to act in your best interests, we need to remember that when we are balanced and when we are grateful, we make excellent decisions for ourselves that will spill over into bringing our authentic selves confidently to any endeavor. That's the outcome. But the magical antidote ingredient this week is appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness, spoken words of deep, authentic appreciation. I know, right? It's a little challenge. It is time for us to release all the wounds that we inflict upon ourselves. Okay? I want to say that again. It's time to work on healing and moving on. Goodbye, guilt. Goodbye, stagnation. What do you want to leave behind with the full moon eclipse on the 26th? What stays here? The eclipse happens, and what do you move on without the old baggage of that? Okay? It's time to release all the wounds that we inflict upon ourselves. It's a good start. It's a good start. And let me just give you a heads up on what night I look at the calendar. Geez Louise. On Thursday night at 7 p.m. for my moon meditation sacred circle, I'm going to be doing a Zoom live Reiki session exactly for this, for releasing all those old wounds that we inflict upon ourselves. Okay? Next card in this world, Two of Vessels reversed. And Ryan and Matthew's name is happiness. So what insecurities stand between you and your joy? What alliances have you made that bring you down and keep you playing small? What practices do you need to break up with? You know, Two of Cups reversed. It's a breakup card. That doesn't mean you need to, like detach from everything. But, what do you want to leave behind that no longer serves? What people, places, and things have been stoking the fires of your insecurities? Who or what drains your vessels of glee? Remember, Jupiter amplifies the energy of whatever is available. And if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy this week. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Your minutes and your moments are precious. What stands between you and the amplification of what you really want to grow? I love this little timer. My sister-in-law, Natalie, gifted it to me. It's one of my favorite things. I love the sound it makes. And I can remind myself with it, what are you giving energy to in this moment? In this Chronos moment, in this Kairos moment? What are you allowing to occupy your moments? Is it insecurity? Is it hanging out in degenerative spaces? Those are the questions I really want you to ask yourself this week. What stands between you and the amplification of what you really want to be growing? Now, last card in the swirl is the Queen of Arrows reverse. And she is asking you to look at the things that piss you off, the things that drain your confidence, and the things that turn you into a bitter person. You need to do some self-reflection on what turns you into a bitchy, judgmental drag, okay? Whether you're doing it externally or internally, it makes if you're doing it in your heart, like Jimmy Carter said, if you're sinning in your heart, it's still real. Maybe like me, you've learned to temper your tongue, but if I'm saying it to myself inside, it's still a carcinogen that I need to be aware of. The Queen of Swords, like when she's upright, she demands honesty and a clear head, so don't be making shit up just so you can be pissed off this week. I want us to look at what makes you feel sour in your mind, in your body, in your space, in your heart space, in your aura, in your workspace, any of those things. And we can put ourselves on a little elimination diet and see where we get some relief. Now, I don't want you to detach with an axe everything, all at once. Just like when you're doing a food elimination, we change one thing and then see how it affects our systems. Like for me, a couple of years ago, I cut out gluten for a period of time to see if that was a thing for me. I've cut out cheese for a period of time to heal my gut. So look for things that make you feel better, not bitter. Better, not bitter this week, girls and boys. And everyone else. Sorry. Jesus, me and the gender thing. I'm learning. So what makes you feel bitter and what makes you feel better? Witches, people, souls. My therapist reminded me this week that our bodies don't lie. So if your body is feeling shitty, ask it. What do you need? What do you need? What words and actions do you allow into your heart and head that make you feel tight and ready to implode, explode, storm out? Sorry about that. Implode, explode, storm out, slam the door, sink down into your own little personal pity party, question everything you're doing, pay attention to the feelings. Who is that person or situation that constantly undermines your self-esteem? Your confidence is just, it's precious. It's precious, and a constant onslaught of crap is just a real bummer. And it turns us into bitter people. Whether we put on that smile or not, the bitterness is still there. Notice when you are aware of feeling made less than who you really are. When do you allow yourself to act out in ways that diminish instead of uplift? And I'm not asking you to bypass your feelings. I'm not asking you to put a happy face on a crap situation. I'm just asking you to look for the ways that you participate and to figure out how you can break up with some of the things that have wounded you in the past and really start healing them. Okay? How do you feel? How do you feel, everyone? How are you receiving this? Because we're headed into the path. We're headed into the path. And the path gives us some clues on how we can walk through the minefield of self-esteem. This eclipse is in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is an esteem booster, a spiritual powerhouse. So if you do this work before the eclipse, I promise 100% that you will move into a leveling up after this eclipse. So we're going to start out with the Eight of Vessels reversed. Ryan and Matthews named this rebirth. And we can see that there are some things that need addressing, right? So first, I want to ask you, what is your fear around setting a boundary about what you're willing to participate in and what you are not? What do you participate in surreptitiously with judgmental thoughts? What do you participate in by remaining silent when you should speak up? These are big questions. Moving on is difficult, but staying in a toxic environment is poison to your system. So we want to stick with situations that make us feel powerful, um, loved. We want to remove ourselves from situations that leave us feeling drained and diminished. And let me tell you, if you are pointing at somebody and saying, this person makes me feel drained and diminished, and you are still giving loads of moments and minutes to that feeling, that person, that job, that partner, that, I don't know, fill in the blank with what you're doing, then you're inviting the poison in. You want to remove yourself from situations, elimination diet style, so one at a time, to see if that's it. You know, if I, what can I think of? I'm starting this new exercise program and I keep telling myself I'm not a sporty girl. I don't really like to exercise. Blah, 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 blah. I have a whole litany of things I say to myself. But, you know, that's poisoning my system. So I'm, doing some things to support that journey instead of going it alone and then bagging out and not having any accountability. So that's on my agenda. What's on yours? I would love to hear about what's on yours. Moving on is difficult. Remember, I call the Eight of Cups the sad goodbye card. um, you know, and oh, I lost my place. And also, no. Da, da, da. Moving on is difficult, but staying in a toxic environment is poisoning our system. So we want to stick with situations that make us feel powerful. You got to notice those too. When you're in a situation that makes you feel like you're in your mastery zone, I want you to do a happy dance. I want you to call into Jupiter and say, more of this, please. I experienced this by going back to substitute teaching, and I have been in pre-K for the last 2 weeks. And let me tell you, it has revived my magic. And I didn't even know I needed it to be. But whoo, it's been incredible. I'm doing cloud scrying now because I was doing some cloud scrying for children. It comes to you in weird ways. So when a situation makes you feel powerful, I want to offer more of this, please. And thank you. The more of this that's coming, the gratitude, the appreciation. Every card in the path that's reverse is a vessel or a cup card. So intuition and emotional indicators are your greatest ally this week. I want you to get out your Brene Brown's feeling wheel and try to identify how you are feeling after an encounter. Like it could be totally different than what you expect. Yesterday, I was like, oh, I have to go to all these stores. I have to drive out to the farm and get some eggs. I have to cook this thing and get ready for the week with lunches and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I had the best time. I was driving around, a sunny day, got all the good foods that I wanted, went out to the farm, got some fresh eggs. Let me tell you, boiling eggs in your Instapot, perfect.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Erica, for the Instant Pot. It makes perfect hard-boiled eggs. So, get out that feeling wheel. Are you feeling generous? Are you feeling fertile, generative, open, expansive? Or are you feeling exhausted? If you are feeling exhausted, you got to figure out how to do less of that. Got to figure out how to do less than that. So homework assignment this week. What would you like to rebirth in your lived remembering, in your lived experience? And what keeps you from doing that? The next card in the path is the Seven of Vessels reverse, which Ryan and Matthews name mourning. It's a different feel from the traditional Seven of Vessels. It just is. So I want you to think about, as you're healing the insecurities, why don't you mourn them properly? Why don't you create a ceremony? Why don't you choose a thing to do to thank those insecurities, because they were the stepping stones to this new appreciation, this new level of confidence, and really sort of see your way back through the last 6 months, the mourning that needs to be done for the healing to actually occur. We are not good at mourning. We are not good at really mourning. Ceremoniously, we have some customs that we participate in, but many of us have forgotten how to deal with grief, process it, and release into the healing. Last card in the path is this little wounded page of vessels who doesn't feel comfortable anywhere. It's represented by the otter, who's equally comfortable on land or water. The page of vessels reversed feels like they are not comfortable anywhere, probably including your own skin or your own emotional spaces. So you guessed it, there's some inner child work to do this week. How will you comfort that little kid that feels all the feels and throws a tantrum instead of being nurtured into perfect love? Or some little pages, when they're feeling out of sorts, they just disappear. They just go internal. They just push it all away. So I want you to pay attention to your little cranky page of cups. Why are you so cranky? What can I do to help? That's what you're going to ask her, or him, or them, or all the things. The Page of Cups reverse can also be a spoiled brat archetype, okay? And it might be up in your face this week. Court cards aren't always us. They can be people in our vicinity. So pay attention if you have somebody who's immature, stompy, demands their own way, all those kind of spoiled brat qualities. And we all have some of them. Like my spoiled brat goes to self-righteousness, like, oh my God, look at you. You are a hot mess. Even if I'm not saying it out loud, I do it. And I'm working on it this week. Obviously, I invite you to do it with me. So I want you to give this little one some crayons, a healthy snack, sing some songs with them, talk and discuss. What color do you feel like today? What shape does your crankiness take? Really, seriously, I'm not talking sophisticated art supplies here. I would like you to get out a bunch of broken crayons just like we do in pre-K, and draw a picture. This is what my crankiness looks like today. And then turn the paper over and draw the antidote. Okay, draw the appreciation. Talk to the page about how you are willing to help, but that you're not gonna participate in the cranky energy. And that's setting a limit, that's setting a boundary for ourselves, like when I start getting all judgmental in my head, I have to tell my cranky page, chill, like you can do that all you want. I'm doing appreciation. I will be over here with appreciation anytime you want to join me. Appreciation feels better for me, so I'm going to stay over here in appreciation. And just see what comes. Last card, the illumination, how we pull it all together. The blasted oak in reverse. This is the only major arcana. And remember, I pull forward to a major arcana. So this process was this card was several cards down. So this is going to be a longer ongoing process for us. Shocking changes are here and more are coming. Okay? That we can just say that. We don't have to fear it, but we have to say it out loud. Shocking changes are coming. They always do. I don't have to sit here and try to figure out all the potential shocking changes that could be coming my way, unless I'm doing it in the dreamy Jupiter in Pisces way. So some of the changes are going to be things that you have absolutely been waiting for. And some of them will rock your world. You don't know. So how about dreaming in and asking Jupiter to bless and enlarge the ones that feel like you've been waiting a long time for these changes? So neither of these things are better than or worse than the other. Sometimes things have to be explosive, so we'll pay attention to them. This card can literally mean an end or a healing of a trauma or several traumas. Remember, we are healing those self-inflicted, other-inflicted wounds. If we are willing to change, because another thing about the Tower reversed is sometimes we're clinging to the past a little too hard. When we break up with the things that deplete us, it feels unsettling and unfamiliar. Discomfort is part of the process. If it feels comfortable, completely comfortable, even in your joy, I want you to go a little deeper, a little farther. Like I said, write down those outrageous dreams. Laugh at them if you need to. But, that's the vibe that we're going for this week. When we recognize and accept that things will be different now, and we can begin sifting through the rubble of the Tower. All right. We can see what can be upcycled, and we can see what needs to go in the dumpster. We can see what needs to be taken to a higher level of our spiritual practice, and what needs to be bulldozed under the earth for purification. All right? Make sense? I want you to try out some opposites this week. If you're usually loud and pushy, not saying any names, try softening. If you're usually a pushover and a people pleaser, try asserting yourself a little bit more. If you're feeling insecure, try listing all the things that you feel solid in, things that feel like I got this. All right. Don't give tons of space to those insecurities. Flip your little timer over, start making a list of all the things that you feel like, I got this. I got this. If you usually stay too long, try leaving a bit sooner. And if you're one to like cut and run early, just try to make yourself stay for 5 more minutes. Okay? That's the thing. Play with it. Make it a game. Ask your inner child to join in. Sing to yourself that song, should I stay or should I go now? I really think that we need to remember that change comes bidden or unbidden. And this week, it's all about what are you willing to do or not do about it. That's what I got for us today. Blessed be. I think your people are here, honey.
Okay.
So Amy has to go out and meet with people, and the dog might bark. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that. Oh, hey BJ. Hey Mandy. Hi Hilda. Ricky Jean says, what behavior gets me cool hair like yours? It looks so good. That is so funny, Ricky Jean, because I'm like, I have a hair appointment on Wednesday and I'm like, my hair looks like crap today and I can't wait till Jenny fixes it. Oh, Hilda says, whoops, new comments. Okay. Hilda says, boring. This isn't for you, Hilda, but there's a message for you out there. So keep looking, keep seeing what's out there and find your own motivation and blessing. And I'm sending you love and Reiki. Sam, you can watch the replay. Cherie wants a card. Yes. So let me show you the decks that I've got today. And I have my wing witch is outside, so you're going to have to help me out. I have Carolyn Meese's Wisdom for Healing cards. I have the Guardian, upside down, Guardian of the Night by MJ Cullinane. And I have the Wild Offering Oracle by Tosha Silver. The artwork is by Katie Daisy. So name your deck if you want, or I'm just going to pick. The moon is just a tiny sliver. That's why I thought the Shadow of the Night or the Guardian of the Night would be good because we still have that kind of dark sky. The Crescent moon was beautiful. Okay, so let me look in the feed. Tina Lindley says, I would love a card. My birthday's next Saturday, and I'm not sure if I can make it to Tea and Tarot next week. You can always watch the replay, Tina. Always. But I would love to pull a birthday card for you. I'm going to pull from Carolyn Meese's Wisdom for Healing deck because we are doing that healing work. And oh my gosh, I love this card. Spend the day with God. Goddess, sacred source, the spirit of all things, the universe, whatever you call it. And I'm going to read today's lesson from the back and maybe riff on that a little for you. This is a day for you to spend with God, a day of prayer, a day of silence. Imagine that your entire world is a sacred chapel. Every inch of your life is filled with grace and the presence of the divine. Your goal, to visualize yourself in the company of heaven every minute of the day. So again, with what we were talking about in the group reading, This is a time for you to like really look at the ways that you feel embraced by heavenly energy, which I would call joy, which I would call love, which I would call, you know, Reiki, all those kind of things. And what a birthday gift to give to yourself. Now, I don't know if you can spend a whole day in silence. I certainly could not. I'm pretty positive of that. Uh, because even when I'm alone, I am an external processor. So I talk to myself all the time. But if you can spend some time with your soul space, with the Akashic records, with the guardians of your soul's contract, I think that that is the recipe for a great birthday. A great birthday. Mandy Robin Smith would love a card. And she says, everything has upside down energy today. Well, some weeks are like that. The trick is to like not fear it and work with it. So Mandy, I'm going to pull a card from the Guardians of the Night for you. We're just going to wrap you in love and wait for the card. Oops, that's the one. And I have the Four of Cups. This is such a sweet card with all the cups that we had in the reading today. You know, the Four of Cups upright can give you an indication or an inkling of boredom. And in a lot of decks, the little possum would be looking down here at the real life, earth life things that occupy our emotional space. But in this deck, the little, it's like no, it's an armadillo, I think, is facing towards the cup that's being handed to you by the divine, the secret ingredient, the antidote. In nature, remember, if there's a toxin, there is also an antidote, usually within 20 feet. So reach for the antidote this week, Mandy. That upside down energy, look at that. That's exactly what you said. But this creature hanging upside down is not focused on earth life. It's focusing on the rebirth, the renewal, the gift from the divine. That's what I've got for you today, lovely. Thanks for asking. BJ, you would like a card, please? Well, sure. Well, sure. I'm going to pull from Tosha Silver's The Wild Offering deck, the one with the Ganesh on the back. If you have some deck bucks saved up, this would be a good purchase, and it's not that expensive. Hardship. May I embrace what's happening right now, as baffling and painful as it is. Help me, divine, to trust where you're guiding me. I am yours. This is exactly the energy, BJ, that I was talking about in that story about Amy and I, and how I wanted her home more. And then she lost her job. And that was a hardship. And I want you to really look at the hardships that are present in your life and try to learn from my experience and see them as stepping stones to what you really want. And a hardship doesn't have to be, we're not going to do comparative suffering here. So a hardship doesn't have to be, my partner lost their job. Holy shit. It could be a hardship of like something sad happened and now I'm trying to make peace with it in my life. Hardships can be, like I wanted to make zucchini lasagna tonight and I forgot to get mozzarella cheese. That's how you can start practicing this stuff. You are guiding me. I am yours. ask this Jupiter energy to expand your faith. The eclipse in Sagittarius is all about faith. So I think you need to get out your weights and do a little workout for your faith practice and start listing those appreciations. I have one here that says, I'd love a guardian of the night card, if so called, looking at the major career jump, and it's a very scary process. Guidance would be appreciated. I'm happy to pull a card for you, but I don't know who you are, Facebook user. So I'm gonna move on, and will you put it in the feed who you are, and then I will pull a card for you. Who do we have? It's so much harder to do this without Amy, I'm telling you. Ooh, Ricky Jean says, Valerie, could you do a day of silence? You could do a day of silence. We just utilize our journals for processing and wrap ourselves in reverent ritual state. Ooh, I like that idea. We talked about having a phone call, so let's talk about it and how we could make it really sing. So let me go down. Oh, Cherie, major career change. Cherie, I'm pulling this card for you right now from the Guardian of the Night. So hands on your heart, and it popped right up. Page of Wands. Career move verified. You need something new. You are sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want you to call in Jupiter around this career move, major career move. Can you see it? Now I want you to call in Jupiter around it. I want you to use the element of fire and stoke the fire underneath it. I want you to get creative. I want you to not be a stick in the mud. I want you to be joyful. I want you to make up a major career change dance and dance it in your own space, you know, naked if you want to, because like Wands is no holds bars. You just do and stoke that fire. Okay, girl? I want to hear more about this, but I love it. Oh, BJ, I'm so sorry that hardship is all around you right now. I'm going to send you some Reiki. Anyone who feels called to join in, if you're willing to receive, BJ, receive it. If you're not, just say, I reject this Reiki. But yeah, it's hard right now. So, you know, stay in touch with, make sure you are not hanging out with the people who are making it harder. Okay? Who else? Do you want to look at the feed?
Could you pull one for Natalie?
I would love to pull a card for Natalie.
I don't know if she's on, but I know she had talked about it. She's not here, and transitions are hard for Natalie, and this week was the transition from here back to her place for Airbnb season.
Yeah.
Could you pull? It sounded like the reading was really made for her today.
Oh, I love it. So I'm going to pull a card for Natalie. If you didn't hear, Natalie has moved back to her apartment. You know, she's doing better. We visited her yesterday, was it? Mm-hmm. No, it was the day before. It was Friday. Yeah. We visited her Friday and we're making plans with her, but I would love to pull a card for her today. And I'm going to pull from Carolyn Meese's Wisdom for Healing, because we're all healing. The transition, you know, even though we know we need to do it, it doesn't feel comfortable. You know, I missed her last night. Amy says, you miss Natalie, don't you? Because I wanted to play and Amy was tired. So, ooh, Nat, look at this. Enhance your physical health. This is perfect. I'm going to read you today's lesson. Think about how you view yourself as a physical being. Do you perceive yourself as weak or strong? Do you tend to make excuses for why you're not proactive in your healing when you should see what you can and should be doing? Your goal to initiate one positive action in your life to enhance your physical health. One, Natalie, I want to say one again, because I know you and I love you. Enhance your physical health. What is one thing, one beautiful thing to love, respect, and appreciate the person that I see? All right. That's what I've got for us today. Let me just tell you a couple of things. If you like, subscribe on YouTube. Because I am going to be moving more away from Facebook and Instagram. I don't like their bullshit. I'm going to be doing more on YouTube and Patreon. Second thing is, if you haven't supported the work on Patreon, I have 3 levels. The big balance level. It's like just putting a little $2 in my tip jar. And if you actually wanted to put a couple of dollars in my tip jar, I accept tips through Venmo at Valerie Friend. $6. My $6 is the latte level. And that is like, I like tea and tarot, and I want to buy Valerie and Amy a really nice coffee once a month. My $16 a month level is my Moon Meditations Sacred Circle. And that is where we are going to be doing a group Reiki session for healing our insecurities, those things that poke holes in our self-confidence and self-esteem. So if you haven't subscribed to Moon Meditations, today might be the day. All right, my friends, I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody tells you that they love you today, I love you. I love you. I love you. All right. We will see you next week, unless you're a Sacred Circle member, and I will see you Thursday night.
MMB Monday?
MMB tomorrow morning. Give her some love. All right. I love you.